Why does the Father bother? Why does God bother to love us? What does He get out of the deal? Coming up next on Pastor Bob Daily. Well, you notice the crackling fire behind me. The fireplace doesn't work. So I have a video of a fireplace, and I turned it on in the mornings because it's psychological, but it warms me up. Anyway, and it'll make good background for our podcast today. Well, why does the Father bother? Why does God bother loving us? What does He get out of the deal? You know, when we look at God as sometimes the policeman. You know, He's there ready to arrest us every time we do something wrong. Sometimes we look at God as this kind old gentleman that is somewhere up in heaven, and He's just so happy when you come to visit Him every once in a while, and He doesn't really get much involved. Or we see God as this guy that isn't involved at all, you know, that just has no personal communication, and He's just kind of doing His own thing. You know, there's so many different ways that people see God. But there's only one thing that's really true. God bothers because He's in love. It's true. He's in love with you. The Bible says in John 3:16, "For God so loved." That's where it all starts. God so loved you that He gave His only Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. He did this to provide a way for you to have a relationship with Him. So there are a lot of people who believe that you have to follow a list of rules. That God is there ready to, wipe you out every time you do something wrong. That He's there to judge you every time you need to be judged. And, that He's a little more mean and stern than anything. The truth is, God so loved that He removed sin. Now that is the truth. Jesus died for the sin of the world, and whoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. Whoever believes in Him, that person has their sin removed as far as the east is from the west, the Bible says. Why? Because God so loved. So why does the Father bother? Why does He bother to love us in the first place? Well, because He can't help it. Honestly, He's in love with you. You know what that feels like. You've been in love to the point where you can't help it, where your heart just continues to love unconditionally almost, and you can't see the other person doing anything wrong because you're not looking there. That's what God does with us. He's in love. And all He asks is that we love Him in return. Now, there are ramifications for sin, and the Bible talks about that, and I've talked about it so many times on this podcast. I'm not going to go there again today. In case you're saying, well, Bob, we have to be careful on how we sin, and I do understand all of that. But the bottom line is, Jesus died for my sin because God so loved. So I hope today that you'll realize why the Father bothers. Why He bothers to love you in the first place. Why He bothers to continue to communicate, continue to love you through everything you do, as any father does, because He's in love with you. God bless you. Have a great day.